Well guys, I've decided to make a brand new review of Combat Arms, seeing as how the game has gotten a hefty update. Allow me to start by saying that this game sucks. The new game types, Quarantine and Fireteam, suck and are
Good evening. I am the Warlock, and I shall do this game in the stead of the incompetent and pathetic F2PMaster. I was thoroughly unsatisfied with his two previous reviews of the game, and as such I have taken the liberty of killing him with my dark, unholy powers. For the remainder of this review, anyways. Now then, down to business. Combat Arms is a first-person shooter made by Nexon, developers of this horrid excuse for a side-scrolling RPG, MapleStory. How ironic, then, is it that they make such a fantastic game this time around? Firstly, the graphics are some of the best I've seen from a free Korean game released in North America thus far. It is no Unreal 3, but it still looks nice. The skins and textures are crisp, the models are nicely detailed, and the lighting is particularly spectacular, especially if you enable bloom effects. Note that those of you with petty and pathetic integrated cards and 10-year-old processors may not have such a pretty game. I myself thoroughly enjoyed the game's graphics. I found them taking me back to the days of Far Cry and Delta Force. Any game that fills me with nostalgia deserves much praise, and Combat Arms is one of those games. The best part of the game's graphics, however, are the sounds, which really help lend to the feeling of being in a massively gigantic battle. Some of the sounds are actually quite visceral, specifically the one that you hear once you shoot someone in the gonads. It's actually quite dreadful and gives you a sort of ooh, I feel sorry for him feeling. Quite hilarious also. The gameplay here is rather straightforward. You join a room, enter a game, and kill the enemy. There are a few game types, most of which copy from the standard deathmatch sort. One-man army, your standard free-for-all deathmatch, elimination, team deathmatch, essentially, capture the flag, which is self-explanatory, and then the new game types, which are certainly original. Spy Hunt, which no one cares about, so I won't even tell you what it's about, and the two new game types added with the recent patch. Fireteam and Quarantine, but I'll get to those sometime in the near future. For now, let us talk about the guns. See, Combat Arms takes a page from Counter-Strike's source. Certain assault rifles can be used for long-range engagements, and are sometimes even more effective than sniper rifles. For example, the FAMAS, and don't any of you flame me for my pronunciation, I can own you with my epic skills, you know, can, in the hands of an experienced player like myself, be used to hit exceptionally long-range targets. This is unseen in any free-to-play shooter, which is why it stands out so much. The recoil of the guns is fairly believable. Shoot too much without aiming or controlling your fire, and you'll hit nothing. Aim and control your fire, and you may just get a headshot, or my personal favorite, a nutshot. Let us now talk about the new game types, shall we? Quarantine is essentially a deadly remake of the classic tag, with elements of hide-and-seek thrown in for good measure. Basically, at the start of each round, you are given approximately 15 seconds to find a good hiding spot or starting position. After the countdown, two of your teammates are randomly selected to be starter zombies, are given about 750 health, become incredibly fast and impervious to damage from falling or drowning, and are ordered to infect all the other players. Infected players become zombies with a starting health of 350, and after a few kills will also get 750 health. Despite what you may think, the objective of the humans is to survive, not to fight. The zombies are purposely overpowered so that you can't kill them. Instead, you must hide from them, because they can easily catch up to you and infect you if they see you in plain sight. Or you can shoot them to knock them back a bit, but when there are a lot of them swarming at you, things tend to become a bit more challenging. At the end, it's all about having a good time as opposed to winning, however. The other game type, Fireteam, is a mission-based game where a bunch of players team up against a surprisingly challenged bots in an attempt to accomplish a specific series of objectives. A lot easier said than done, let me tell you now. Despite what you may think at first, the bots are actually very, very tough, and will quite easily be able to take you down. The community in Combat Arms is much, much better, thanks to some incredibly powerful new hacking protection. I've only seen one hacker over a week's time, and that is saying something for a game that has been plagued by hackers for the longest time. Unfortunately, a lot of the community is comprised of pathetic little children, like I know some of you are. This leads to a lot of complications, since some of them think that just because they suck and other players know which end of the gun bullets come out of, they are hacking. I have been called a hacker only a few times, but I have been frustratingly kicked out from a game because of some little twat. In the end, Combat Arms rises from the smoke of war, completely drenched in the blood of its competitors. Combat Arms gets a 9.5 out of 10, and knows my recommendation, not that of the F2PMaster because he's a dick. Goodbye.